This is a follow-up to the Retekess V115 review I did about 8-9 months ago. This is one of the best little radios I've used. Let's check out some features. This is a software-defined radio receiver with MP3 capabilities. That's the best way I can describe it because it's a full digital system. And I've had this radio now for, I guess, about 9 or so months. And I find this one to be an excellent little radio. I've been using this thing for, say, the past 9 months or so, and I still can't get over how good the sound is. Now, mainly I use this as an MP3 player. So I've got my 32 gig micro SD card loaded with MP3s, and that's typically what I use it for. I have not used it as a shortwave receiver, only because where I live, there's a lot of noise, and right now with all the sunspot activity, there's not a lot on shortwave, and I haven't really used it much for shortwave. I have used it for AM and FM, and as I say, mostly I use this as the MP3 player. So they wanted me to go over some of the features and how to do things on this, so let's get started. So the power key turns the power on and off, and it will return to whatever mode the radio was in the last time you used it. In this case, it's on 87.5. That was just happened to be perfect timing that a new track was coming up. You can store multiple memories, and in the prior video I showed how to do that, but you can pick your next track, your next station, and it will go to that station.
We've seen younger people come out late at night.
Just key the memory number in.
The lighting is just right, and they'll
and it will
play
go to that
till
memory.
midnight.
So it'll now go to number 1. One thing about this little radio is the phenomenal sound. I'm just going to find some royalty-free music off the MP3 player, of course, but here's off the radio. Now the radio is stereo. The speaker built in obviously is mono. There's a driver up front and there's a radiator in the back, so that's where the bass sound comes from, and it actually has very good bass. I'll put the MP3 player on now by switching over to MP3 by pushing the mode button, and this will switch it over to MP3. And it'll play my MP3s. About 4,233 tracks on here, and I've got it set to random mode. The display will show what track is playing, and I've got it currently set in random mode. By pressing the menu button, I'll turn that down a bit here. Pressing the menu button will cycle through random, auto, repeat, and single repeat. So in single repeat, it'll just play the same track over and over again when the track ends. It'll just repeat that one. And program mode, where you can program it to play specific tracks that you want, and then random mode will completely play in random, and then again in A, it'll just repeat the entire directory over and over. It'll just keep replaying the songs in order. So 1233, 1234, etc. until you get to the last track. Now if I want to go to, say, track 4233, I can just enter 4, 2, 3, 3, and then press, I don't even think I have to press play, but press play and it'll go right to that track. Oh, good. I can play this. This is Music Bakery, so I can play this one. You can also take the audio output from the headphone output and put that into another amplifier, and the sound quality off it is excellent. And I've done that. I was actually using this to feed into my system to listen to for a while, and that's what I've been using this radio for, or this unit basically, as to have as a music player, and I could just load an SD card into it, plug it into my sound system, and then put it in random and just let it play through an amplifier. And that's basically what I have been using this unit for since I got it, as been a music player. It's an easy, cheap way to add MP3 or WMA playback. And the sound quality is stereo and it is fantastic. It also has the ability to record. So if I stop it from playing and I go into record mode, now if I press and hold the record key, it now goes into record mode. And it's going to record onto a separate file, it's an MP3 file, what I am saying. So it's going to record voice. You can plug an external microphone into it. You can also plug a line into it. So stereo input from a stereo cable, such as one that I have right here. To record from an auxiliary input, I just plug my auxiliary input into the line input. Hasn't been plugged in. And it'll now play the sound from the external source into or through the speaker, so you can monitor what you're going to record. So if you want to record from, say, another source, a computer or something, you want to make a recording onto the into MP3 onto the SD card, you can plug that in. If I just press the record key, it'll now start recording. So now it's recording. Nice plug there. It's now recording what's playing into the line input. So I'll let this record for a minute. What I'll do is I'll take the files from here. We'll take the SD card out and I'll put the SD card into my computer and we'll listen to the files on it itself. So we can see how good the quality is recording on this. It's certainly not up to the quality of, say, a professional audio recorder, such as like a total Tascam recorder or any of those other ones. It's going to deliver a better quality recording, but this certainly is not a bad recording. Bitrate is a little bit on the low side, but other than that, it does get the job done. To stop it, I just press the record button again, and it'll stop it. Now it'll show me that I've actually got two MP3 files because I've recorded one once before, and it puts them into a separate folder. So if I skip ahead here, this was what I recorded before, I think, on here. Yeah, this was actually, I think, recorded from a cassette tape when I was playing around with this. So I've got two recordings. If I'm in the radio mode and I press record, it will now start recording what is ever being received on the radio. So to record a radio broadcast, as long as there's memory available on the memory card, if you just press the record button, it's going to record whatever is being received on the radio. And to stop it, press the record button again, press and hold. Now you'll notice that the files are called radio. So if I am when I'm recording radio, it'll say radio, whatever track number it is. If I skip forward, it will play. In this case, I made some recordings from the radio. I already did these in advance. There was a recording off shortwave of WWV, the time signal. Another recording I made off shortwave. I had to make these recordings off shortwave. I did them at night. So we'll take a listen to some of these, and of course, this is the one that I just recorded now. When you're in MP3 mode, if you just press and hold the record file button, which is the 0 key, it will now switch over to your inputs, to your recordings that you've made, and you can cycle through all of your recordings. And as you go through the recordings, it'll tell you, this is something I recorded off the mic. Cat was annoying me when I was trying to record.
You're annoying. Go away.
So
Go away.
I'm trying to get work done. The cat has other ideas. But it'll cycle through the recordings for the microphone. And microphone's pretty sensitive on this unit. So these are recordings I made obviously with the microphone. Record mode. And it's going to record onto a separate file. It's an MP3 file. So that's the file I recorded just now. So it's going to record voice. Next over goes to the radio files, and I can't obviously let that one play. I can let this one play though. This was recorded on my little test transmitter. So the radio files will have a radio like 001, 002, etc. This was some stuff I recorded off of shortwave.
There is a way that seems so right unto man, but the ends thereof
And then the line input. This is a recording I made off of a cassette. And then, of course, the input that I just recorded now. Complete with the dirty jack. I gotta clean that plug here. And then it'll go back to the first game. And then to get back to the pre-recorded music that you've loaded with your computer, just press the record file button again. It went back to the track I was on last. If I want to listen to this and play it through the sound system, all I need to do is plug in the line output to my sound system, and then we'll hear it through proper speakers. And this is basically what this radio is used for when I use it at home. I use it as a music player because I can load music onto an SD card, plug it into my sound system, and let it play. I'm not using it as much now for that because I've got a streaming player, streaming preamp that I can do the same thing with. But I was using this thing for quite a while. Now I use it as a portable radio. When I listen to some music outside, I just take it out with me. It's got great sounding speaker. It's got a rechargeable battery. It's everything I want in a small radio. The recordings that you heard from shortwave were done just with the built-in antenna. I just went outside in my backyard, put up the antenna, and made some recordings. But I did it at night when the reception's a little bit better than it is during the day. We'll take a listen to the recordings off of the card that I made. And that'll pretty much be it, because I think everything else on this is pretty self-explanatory. It's very, very simple to operate. And the key that most people will want to use is the mode key, which will change for single track playback, programmable playback, or random. In random mode, it'll just pick the next track. And tell you what it's playing. But it's a great little player. It's got a rechargeable battery. The rechargeable battery lasts for a long time. I've had this thing running pretty much all day listening to it when I had it out with me. And it's a great little unit. It comes with a little stand as well. So you can pop this stand in the back. And what this little stand does is it holds the bass port up from your table so that you get the best sound quality out of the radio itself. You can also go directly to the track. As I showed before, you can press the play key so you don't have to wait for it. So if I wanted to go to, say, track 4220, I can just key in 4220 and press play, and it'll immediately go to that track. So on the Retekess V115 makes a recording. It records them in separate folders on the SD card. FM record is where all the radio files would be recorded. We'll play a couple of these. L record is the line input record. So M record down here. So there's different file folders for the different sources. So for the microphone recording, it's recording an audio bit rate of 96 kilobits per second, with the line input and the radio recording the same. 96 kilobit file. We'll drop the files in and take a listen to the actual source.
Go away. You're annoying. You are annoying. You're annoying. Go away. Go away.
Record mode, and it's going to record onto a separate file. It's an MP3 file, what I am saying. So it's going to record voice. You can get to the point. Let's roll.
There is a way that seems so right unto man, but the end thereof is death.
Okay, I think that pretty much demos everything I can on this little radio, at least the basic functions. For a more comprehensive look, I'll leave the link for the original review in the description so you can check that one out, and that's where we took this one apart. Retekess just wanted me to kind of go over the features of this one again along with the other radio, and I did it as a separate demo. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I think this one's a winner. I really enjoy using this one. I've been using it, as I say, for an MP3 player for the past 8 or 9 months, and I now take it outside and take it to work with me to listen to it in my truck and stuff. It's great because I can plug it in my truck at work has an aux in, so I can just plug the line in from this right into my truck and listen to it through the speakers, which is what I've been doing with it for the past couple months since I retired it from my home stereo system when I put in one of those streaming boxes. I've been using this one mobile in my work truck, and that's why it's all dirty, because it's been hauled around on the truck for the past 4 or 5 months. Anyway, great little unit. Thanks for watching. The link to this is in the description, as well as the link to the other original review. Thanks for watching.